Welcome to Rochester Perspective. I'm Mari Casper, and my guests this morning are Stephen Hoitt, Scout Executive for the Seneca Waterways Council, and Andrew Joslyn, a new Eagle Scout from Troop 122. That's correct, right, Andrew?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So tell us a little bit about what's going on lately with the Boy Scouts of America, Stephen. It's a little different since we last spoke a few years back.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. I think since the last time you and I were together, we went from being mostly an all-boy organization in our younger programs. In 2019, we opened up to girls in the program for Cub Scouts and our, at the time, Boy Scouting program, now Scouts BSA.
Wow.
That bloomed to like 20% of the membership nationwide, and so reflected of that, they changed the name of the entire organization from Boy Scouts America to Scouting America, and membership's done well. Summer camp, phenomenal season this year. So things are just going great, and we're happy to continue to share the program and experiences with more and more families.
And also, it's September, school's back in session, so big push is on to recruit. Why is scouting so important?
I mean, scouting is really about developing life skills with kids, about creating character in young people, and actually preparing them for life ahead. And so, it's a program unlike anything else you get to do with your child. And so you have opportunity to get to know the person your child is, and it's something you do as a family together. And so most of the families and the people in our program, the thing they take away best from it is the opportunity that scouting's really given them to get to work together and know each other.
It's cool. I think we talked about it years ago. I was Girl Scout troop leader for my daughter's Girl Scout troop, and my husband was my son's Cub Scout pack leader. And you really don't realize how much information these kids learn until 2 years ago. My husband came back from riding his bike, and he had it on the back of the car. He said, I didn't get very far. And I said, why? What happened? He said, the chain broke. So all of a sudden, my son, comes out and says, oh, I know how to fix it. Like, how did you learn that? And he said, Scouts.
It's amazing what you learn along the way. You don't realize it.
Okay. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's incredible what you learn, and you don't realize it. And it's at different moments of your life, you all of a sudden, wow, I learned how to do that. Or, and it's simple things sometimes, but it's really neat that you get these skills that you just take with you throughout your life. But it happens in other ways too. Character development, leadership development, and things like that. And one of the unique things we find is that probably depending on where you live in the country, maybe 5% or so of the kids that are in a community or in scouting, sometimes a little better, maybe 10%. But you go and look in who runs community organizations, who's involved, and you find half the people, usually 30 to 50% of the people running organizations were in scouting as a kid. And so it really teaches them to engage and be a leader and take ownership of problems.
Were you in Scouts?
I did. I grew up in it. I started when I was in second grade.
Nice.
That's when you could be. And I never left.
That's cool. Now, as far as recruiting goes, you go into schools at this time. It's a heavy recruitment, September, October?
Yeah, absolutely. Families can join scouting any time of year, but ideally September is the number one month when most families enroll in the program and fall right behind by October. And collectively in our council, we serve 5 counties, so Rochester, Finger Lakes region, so Monroe, Wayne, Seneca, Ontario, Yates counties. I mean, just in that area, we have roughly 300 different scout units.
Wow, that's big.
From Cub Scouting to Scouts BSA, adventuring and exploring. And so depending on your son or daughter, and depending on what their interest level is, programs go all the way from kindergarten all the way up through high school. And
cool.
So we have a lot of different programs. Cub Scouting, far and away, though, is the biggest one that recruits right in September, and that's really for boys or girls, kindergarten through 5th grade.
Nice. Pinewood Derby still a thing?
Probably the biggest event of the year.
Yes, I love that.
If you were 8 years old, that is the event right there.
I was cleaning the house the other day, and I came across a box. I'm like, what's in this box? And I found the cars that Andrew had made for Soapbox Derby, so we're going back. Pinewood Derby. So we're going back about 15 years or so. It's pretty cute.
Absolutely. And they get pretty competitive, and kids, they build these little, for people that know, they build these little wooden cars. They're about, 3 inches by 8 inches, a little wooden block. They carve it in, a car out of it, and then race it on about a 40-foot long track.
It's fun to watch.
It's all gravity-fed car races, and it gets very competitive of how fast can you make a 5-ounce piece of car go. And they go, and they'll have winners at the pack levels, and then they qualify up to district levels, and then winners from there go up to council level. So it is a really fun event that happens in the spring. Sometimes you get mom or dads, usually dads, who get a little more competitive about it than the kids do. But
I know some moms that are pretty rough.
Yeah, it is pretty competitive.
All right, let's turn it over to Andrew. But Stephen, I'm going to come back to you because I want to talk more about scouting news. Andrew, tell us your story. When did you start Scouts?
I started as soon as I could. I remember back when I started, boys and girls couldn't do Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts at the same time. And so I had to start a year after all my classmates. And I remember crying to my mom that I couldn't join right away. I begged her to let me into Girl Scouts.
So what happened?
I just had to wait the year.
Stuck
it out.
So no Girl Scouts. Bummer.
Sadly not.
Well, Harry, you made it. So what grade were you in? What, first grade? Second?
I think it was first.
First, yeah. What school do you go to?
I went to Newark High School. I'm now in college though.
Where do you go to college?
I'm going to Finger Lakes Community College.
Nice. FLCC has a great program. What's the course of study for you?
I'm working with computer programming.
Smart. That's smart to do. Okay, so how has scouting played such an important role in your life? What's it taught you and all that good stuff?
I think the most important thing I've learned from it is definitely morals and ethics. I've seen some of the greatest people in scouts, the most selfish and kind individuals.
That's
And
so cool.
I try to take that into my life too.
Okay, so you started in Cub Scouts, then you go to Boy Scouts, and then this is impressive because you brought in your shirt with oh my God, all the badges. How many badges are on that shirt? And I'm surprised we can even see the shirt.
I have 139.
Oh my God. Wow. Just from when you started Cub Scouts all the way up to Eagle.
You start earning the merit badges at the start of Boy Scouts. You can't get them in Cub Scouts.
Oh, that's right. I should know that. I should know that. What's been your favorite thing with Scouts? Like, I'm looking at all those badges. I see like a sailboat. There was a railroad track. What did you like most? Or is it hard to tell?
Scuba diving. Scuba diving was definitely a blast.
Really? Mm-hmm. Where did you do that? Lake Ontario?
So I did a training at some high school. I can't remember what now. And we went through a lot of drills, and they taught me all the techniques to scuba dive and all the things I should know. And then we went to an old quarry, and we swam around and picked out a bunch of different fishes and just had fun.
Oh my God. Did you get claustrophobic at all at first?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely. In the quarry, there's a lot of dust, so it was hard to see.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too bad after a little bit.
Have you ever been, or do you want to go to like one of those beautiful tropical islands and see those real pretty fish like Nemos and stuff?
Oh, I'd love to, and explore like reefs.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would. All right, so Eagle Scout. It takes a lot to earn that. My cousin's son is an Eagle Scout, and they were going back about 25 years, but he did some incredible projects for his Eagle Scout earning. What did you do?
So I worked with the Village of Newark, and I got permission from my village board to go onto the Erie Canal Trail and install a couple of garbage cans and benches. And I had a couple of cleanup days where I removed a few dozen bags of trash, and we just helped clean the area up a lot. Wow,
that's cool. And as one, I go the canal, like Brighton, all the way down towards Fairport. We run it a lot or ride bikes. That's awesome. It's a beautiful canal, and I'm really proud of you for that. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now, when you were in scouting and all that, your family, your parents were involved?
Maybe more than me.
Really?
Yeah, both my parents have been involved with me every step of the way, and they have definitely helped me more than anyone else could have.
That's great. I mean, I'm looking here. You said 139 merit badges?
139.
Is that more than anybody else?
Not the most ever. It's more than is available right now. They changed one of them, and so you can only get 138 now.
Hey, you beat them. Like, hold my beer. I love that so much. And I have to give a shout out. You're a member of Troop 122, Ship 303. What's Ship 303 and what's Crew 138 mean?
So there's different parts of the scouting program. There's obviously Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. There's Explorer Scouts, Sea Scouts, and Venturing are some of the biggest ones. Sea Scouts being maybe the smallest of those. Venturing and Sea Scouts are both 14 to 21, and so it's an older program for people that want to continue staying involved. and it's a lot more youth led than it is with the adults. You take charge of everything you do, and it kind of sees how much you can handle as a person.
Geez, apparently you can handle a lot. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and that's the congrats on the Eagle Scout.
Thank you so much.
Because I know how much work goes into that. That's super, super good. Now let's go back to Stephen. This is going by really fast.
It always does.
So I know, seriously. So let's talk about some scouting news, like the summer camp, fall recruitment we touched on. The huge event coming up with different troops, Lobster Fest.
One of my favorite events of the year.
Speaking my language. Okay, tell us all about all this stuff.
So summer camp, we just bounced off what a phenomenal summer season. We are blessed as a council. We really exist to help support all these scout units, and so we run 2 summer camp properties under our umbrella. We have Camp Cutler, which is in Naples, which is a Cub Scout camp. So the younger kids and parents go to that. Parents don't have to go, but most parents take the opportunity. It's really a theme immersion camp. You sleep on the pirate ship, sleep in the fort,
Cool.
sleep in the castle.
I'd like to do that.
It is a really neat program to do with your son or daughter. And then in the Adirondacks, we have Massweepy Scout Reservation, which is a 4,000-acre property. It runs a base camp program, but it's also a high adventure program that goes into the Adirondack Park. And it is in between Cranberry Lake and Tupper Lake.
Pretty.
It is just a beautiful area. And we put, 1,800 kids through summer camp programs up there this summer.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
Phenomenal experience and phenomenal program for scout groups to be able to go, and most of the kids like Andrew's, they'll go as a whole troop, so that all the kids from Newark will go together and stay as a group, which also helps provide for I think a better quality experience for a lot of kids for our summer camp program.
Agreed.
With that though, coming back into the fall, we'll in addition to summer camp at both of those facilities, we'll run events all year long. So groups will sometimes do their own campouts, activities. Sometimes they sign on to things we do as well. So every single month, there's stuff going on for younger kids and older kids as well that groups may partake in. And then in addition to that, we're running events to help raise money to support the program, because there are kids who couldn't afford to go to summer camp, so we raise money for camperships, or financial assistance for kids who couldn't afford to even be in the program. And so Lobster Fest, which you highlighted, comes up on September 28th, and that is probably our biggest fundraising event of the year, kind of a standalone single event. It is used to be at Oak Hill, but because of construction, we moved it out, so it's at Irondequoit Country Club this year, and the guys are just going over the top, so it'll be phenomenal fundraising opportunity.
What's the 7 different BSA councils, troops from Canada and girls troops? What's going on? Is there something with that, or that happen, or what's that about?
Well, we do in the fall. We will do a Challenge Trophy Camporee that comes up October 25th.
Oh, okay.
It is. It'll be at Camp Cutler. It is for the older scouts, so it'll be age 11 and up.
Okay.
We'll have. Last year we had like 1,800 kids at this weekend event.
Oh my God!
Just one weekend.
Okay, right? That's a lot.
Versus last week we had 1,800 all summer, right? But there are probably in the Northeast, I'd say during the school year, there's probably 4 or 5 major camporee style events that happen. Real close to us, Scouts Canada has one at Fort George right in September. We have another one in October here, so we're blessed to have 2. I think West Point has another in the spring that's huge. But with that, in the Northeast, is like maybe five of these events that are just mega scouting events that draw kids in from all over the place. And so this is one that we'll host. Huge event. We'll have kids from Canada, from all over New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio that come in for this wonderful experience.
Okay, so if somebody's listening right now and they want to get their child involved with Scouts and they're at school, how are they going to know when you're at a school? Do you put out a schedule or what?
Yeah, so it depends on the school. Different districts have all different policies on how they allow for information to go out or not go out. And so sometimes it gets buried in electronic e-blasts and stuff like that, so families find a hard time to see it. But the simplest way is to go to our website, which is scoutsrock.org. And you can spell rock like the airport code or just rock like a stone.
Okay.
But scoutsrock.org, either way works. And then go there, and you can literally just type in your zip code. And it'll pop up, and you click what kind of age group you're looking for. So let's say your son or daughter is looking to be a Cub Scout. Click the little Cub Scout button, and it'll pop up all the Cub Scout packs that exist or groups that exist within your immediate area.
Very cool.
So, and it works. It works for everybody. So even if you want to say, hey, I live in Newark, but hey, my grandkids live in Greece, can I work? Absolutely. Type in the zip code and it'll pop up what's in Greece. And what I share with a lot of families, if you're in a small rural community, you probably only have one program. Mm-hmm. And that's, if you were in Ovid or Romulus or something like that. But if you're in a larger community, like Newark, you have several options. You get into bigger communities like Penfield or Webster, you got 5 or 6 different program options.
Yeah.
So you may find that there's a group that meets at your son or daughter's school, but they also may be one to a church you go to or a youth center that you guys participate in. So if the night of the week doesn't work, you have opportunities to look around and say, let's find a program that works for our family for a night activity. As you go into the older kid programs, they all take on a variety of flavor of what they do for outdoor programming. And so you can also look and say, we want programs to do a lot more camping or a lot more, big trip experiences or things like that. And so you can kind of look for groups and go visit and just see what's going on.
It's like an a la carte menu.
Absolutely. So from the website, you go there, you'll find individual groups. You can get onto their websites, see when their sign-up nights are coming up. But again, they'll take members all year long, but you can even register everything right there online.
Okay, and before we wrap up, I want to go back to Andrew. And I know 139 badges is a lot. And I'm wondering and just curious if you struggled at any of them. And if so, if a child is listening right now, when they get into scouting and something gets a little tough, what's your advice?
I'd say hands down bird study. Hardest one, just the patience and having to find the interest in doing it.
There's that.
I could not find how it was fun, but
but you stuck it out.
I stuck it out, and even if I don't realize now, there's been times where some of these merit badges that flew by and that I wasn't too interested in have come in handy. Like amphibian study, I worked at a summer camp this summer, and
wow.
I was able to identify a water snake.
Oh, that's
which
pretty cool.
I didn't know I could do.
Right? Isn't that amazing? You just retained it, and
just stuck in my head.
Cool.
And I think it's important to try and push through, because it'll be so useful later on. There's so many things you have no idea you're gonna know, and it's huge.
Awesome. Well, I wish you continued success. Good luck at FLCC.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming in this morning. And I want to thank you too, Steve. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, like I said, if a family wants more information, scoutsrock.org is the website. Go there. You'll get information about the programs, what more is available, and can even find groups that may work for your son or daughter.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, you guys, for coming in. Stephen Hoitt, Scout Executive, Seneca Waterways Council, and Andrew Joslyn, new Eagle Scout from Troop 122 Newark. Great to have you guys here.